Since I was showing how much time I'm burning up in the shop doing silly stuff, I had started bridge. Initially it was going to be a rope bridge, and I had a bunch of scrap cutoffs from something I made. It's been laying out in the yard for years, and initially I took these, I think I had 8 of them by the time I cut it up, and strung it together, and the bridge was too short. So I went to the local dollar store and bought a bunch of popsicle sticks, like 60 sticks for $1.50. I bought a couple packages. Anyway, so I spanned these two, and then just for interest I made it look like this bridge collapsed. Somebody drug some logs to get over there, and it had 4 of these, and it was still too short. Bear in mind, this bridge is to nowhere. I mean, I have no 2 obstacles I need to get in between, so once I get this finalized, I still need to come up with some kind of structure to hold this thing up, because I don't have anything to tie off to. So I got parked and piled in the back here because I kind of gave up on it and worked on the cars. I took 2 of these apart and flipped the 2 ends around, because you can only get a certain length out of the popsicle stick, to make the overall, excuse me, width wider. I made 2 of those. So let me pause for a second. So then I ended up with this. Oops. It's about 2 foot long and strung with the ropes. Then I was figuring out how to tie this off, or what kind of structure to make to support this bridge. And what I came up with was this. I made this little frame. Well, first I made the ramp, still thinking I could tie this off somehow with the ropes, but I needed some way to get up to the top of the bridge. Popsicle sticks, oh yeah, and the dowels. I got a dollar store had a package of 2 16-inch, half-inch wood dowels for $1.50. I bought a couple packages of those. And the bamboo skewers. They're about 1/8 inch, maybe 16 inches. 100 of them for $1.50. So if I want to make shish kebabs, I have some bamboo skewers. Anyway, I made this little platform. It was coming out really groovy. And one of the things I want this bridge to do is I want to be able to drive under it. And this was too short. And in order to raise it, it made it too steep. So I ended up cutting up a 2x4. Put on the end to raise it up. And then did what the point of this video is, other than how much time I can waste. In general, I mean, I'm not a professional photographer and I'm not a YouTube creator. Just a guy out in the shop just doing silly shit. And this is actually fun. Anyway, but so far this is working. I think I need to back you guys up. Might be a little better. Anyway, drive under it easily, assuming that there's going to be something underneath it, some rocks or something, so I'm not running into the bridge. Yeah, I'm still at a frame, aren't I? So where was I? So this gives me I'll have about a 2-foot span and then a good ramp. The FCX just climbs this, so it doesn't just walk up it. You have to pay attention and drive up it. The issue I had when I tied this together, that the weight of the center panels in the car would pull these into each other. Actually, it would just do that. It would tip. We're still trying to fine tune. I mean, I'm spending a little time, carving it up, trying to make it look aged. But I mean, it's just popsicle sticks and scrap lumber and wood glue. These I ended up attaching with some piano hinge. Tying this section to this section with the rope was just too much sag. You could use just simple webbing. If you had some 1-inch strap or something, just cut short pieces, staple it to the bottom, a couple pieces just so it can still flex. I kind of want to do the rope on these center sections just for the little bit of movement, just add more interest. I could do the webbing. I'm thinking though, but I'm still having the issue with the weight pulling these together, or actually causing it to tip, which actually surprises me how little it takes to tip this. And this little thing's not exactly light. So what I did was I took a piece of those dowels and I made a little base. I'm going to try to paint it so it looks like a concrete pier. And a popsicle stick across for a little bit of support. Drilled a hole so I can insert this, and I got a little skewer to lock it so you can pick this up and move it without it falling out, and that helps, changes the pivot point. I haven't tied her up yet and actually put the car in there, but I think that's going to work. If I have to, I'll run supports between this and the base, I think. So just started this on a whim. Actually, I should probably started it 2 months ago. Every once in a while I start working on it, trying to figure out how to make it work, but I think this is going to be cool. I would like the pieces to come apart, like I say, so I can transport it easily. So I'm not sure about how I'm going to link the pieces, but I say, it's just surprising me how simple this is with the materials I have besides buying popsicle sticks and stuff. Time I won't regret. Probably like a lot of you watching this, if you've made it this far. But when you go to your local dollar store, spend very few bucks. Popsicle sticks, I just used a pair of dikes for the most part to cut it. And you can use X-Acto knife. And a can of Rust-Oleum bronze, fogged and spit. Gives it that pretty nice look, in my opinion. And then I'd use a little mini file, cutting up the edges, and just a pencil to highlight where the weather split the wood. But anyway, things you could do.